Are you there? Messaging you from Telegram. Isn't this exciting? Let's see what my AI bot says. Does it work? Hey, look at that. Yes, Josh, still here, still on Telegram. Same conversation we've been having for the past few minutes. Look at that. Hey, folks. So today we are going to enable us to access our agent anywhere. Specifically, we're going to do it via Telegram. If you're new to this series, welcome. This is episode 3. We are rebuilding OpenClaw for fun. We've already done 2 episodes. The first, building the agent loop, and then the second, giving it a personality and soul. So if you're interested, go check out those videos first and then come back here. So the big unlock that we have to kind of let ourselves do this is we are wrapping our agent invocation in another layer that we're going to call a gateway. And this has a listener that connects into Telegram that will then, when it receives a new message, invoke our agent. Our agent will then respond. We'll update our session in the back end, and then it will respond via Telegram. And so this is just a loop running in the background, and this is what we're going to kind of dig into today. Before jumping in, let's go through some of the files that we've changed to kind of support this gateway feature. So right out the gate, we have this gateway file. This is the entry point, right? This is the file that kind of marries together the Telegram aspect and our existing agent. It kind of runs that loop to kind of make that happen. We now have a Telegram file. This is a wrapper around a different Python Telegram API, just so that we can interact with Telegram. We have a configuration file called schema.py. This supports holding a token to let us interact with Telegram, and then an allow list of messages that we want to receive, that we are okay with receiving information from or commands from via Telegram. This is our session manager, basically storing of our old chats in the back end. We add we kind of adjust it a little bit so it's keyed by channel. So that when we message via Telegram, it has its own kind of unique chat versus when we're interacting via the terminal UI. So yeah, you can kind of see that here. So let's look at this gateway.py file. This is going to be our new entry point. Instead of main.py, we have our gateway.py. And so in our main method here, we have a bunch of setup that's happening here. Getting our API key, getting memory, setting up our tools. This is where we build out the Telegram adapter. We can kind of talk more about that later. And then we register some shutdown signals. This is basically, if we hit Control C, it'll kill the app. But the main thing here is kicking everything off. So we create an async IO task with this message loop. And this is the core code of the gateway, right? It's doing this loop, listening to a message from Telegram, and then passing it on to our agent, getting the response, and then looping that. We'll dig into that in a minute. Here we have just some shutdown once this actually ends. So let's look at the message loop here. We load in our sessions. Actually, this is just an empty list here, but the meat of it here is we have this adapter.message, and this is kind of an asynchronous loading for loop. And so it'll just wait until the next message. Once we have the next message, we will then grab the chat ID, and then we'll pull the session. We'll grab the chat ID from the message, and then we'll pull the session associated with that chat ID. So hypothetically, you could have multiple different people texting the same agent at the same time, and it would store that separately. If the chat ID is not in the sessions, then we're going to load that from the back end. And I think behind the scenes, this will create a new session if we need to. We then build the system prompt, and we're saying that the channel is Telegram, and then we're passing in the chat ID so we can kind of keep it all separate. We'll run the agent. This is all the same as last time. So we're passing in our message, the tools, the history, and then the system prompt. And then once we get a response back, we will append that to our storage. So this is our stored history, and then this is the history that is living in our memory. And then we'll send the response via the adapter, and then come back up here and wait for the next message. So hopefully that makes sense. Pretty simple here, what we're doing in this message loop. Let's look at the telegram.py file. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but this wraps this Telegram API that already exists, within the Python ether. Someone has built that out for us. We have a couple handles here. Whenever we get a new message, we want to call this code, and we want to check our allow from list. And then if we don't know the number, we're just going to ignore it. Otherwise, if we do know it, we're going to put it on the queue, so it will then get picked up later. And you can see here's this queue.get. We just kind of do a while loop, waiting until we get something here. And then this message is called in this asynchronous for loop that we talked about in the gateway file. So that's mainly it in the Telegram py file. Then we have the schema file. And we won't go through the whole thing here, but here are some setup instructions to kind of tell us what to do when we don't have the configuration set up. These are the configurations we need. We need the bot token, and then we need a phone number or the user ID number from Telegram. And so it kind of will guide us through here. So that's a schema file. And then I think that's mainly it. Yeah, so there's the code. Let's dive into a demo. All right, so let's jump into a demo. So I've got terminal open here. We're running a virtual environment here, and then I'm going to call, and then I'm going to run the gateway.py file. So I'm going to do this, and then it says no Telegram bot found, and then it tells me kind of what to set up. You'll see here that in our AI assistant folder, it automatically created this config, and then it has this bot token that it wants, and then an allow from list. So it says message BotFather on Telegram /new bot, then copy your token, find your Telegram user ID, message user info bot, and then edit this. Okay, cool. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump over here to my phone. Here you can see I am in Telegram, and then I already have BotFather here, but if you don't have that, you can type in BotFather. Open that up, and then I'm going to do create a new bot. And then I'm going to fill this out and then go from there. So I'm going to call this AI assist, and then I'm going to give it a username. All right, there we go. I'm going to create my bot. Cool. And now, I've got this API token. I'm going to copy to my clipboard, and then I think it should be copied over here. I'm going to go over here, back to my computer, and put in my bot token. There it is. Great. And now, going back to my phone, I am going to, let's see here. I need my user ID. So I think I need to look up user ID, info, ID bot. Do this. You can see here, I've already got something here. You can do /start and it will give you your ID. So there's my ID. I'm going to punch that in. Great. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go back to terminal here and then try running this again. Cool. It says the gateway is running. So now what we can do is we can go back to Telegram, and then we have to find the bot that we just created. There may be an easier way to do this, but I'm going to just search the bot that I just created. Cool. There's my bot. And then I'm going to hit start and then say hello. Let's see here. Look at that. Hello, Josh. I see you successfully managed to initiate conversation. Remarkable. Remember that we've got this all snarky from earlier. Here and fully operational. Is there something specific you needed? So now I can interact with my bot via Telegram. So let me try something. Can you write a Python calculator that I can run, please? Let's see. So I'm going to do that. It's going to run this. I'm not sure if I'm going to get all the tool calls, if they're going to be piped back here to Telegram. I don't think so. They'll just show up in my terminal. Nice. There you go. It created it. And then it says I can run it using Python 3. So let me flip back over to my terminal. All right, here we are. We can see all these messages coming through. In workspace, we have calculator.py. So it just wrote this. I'm going to open up a new terminal. And I'm going to do cd into the workspace, and then Python 3 calculator. Enter a choice. Let's add. First number is 55. Second number is 45. Result is 100. So cool. I just wrote that calculator from Telegram, which is super cool. So obviously you can see there's all sorts of different opportunities that you have here that you can just interact with your bot via Telegram. So that's how we get access anywhere. Hopefully that was helpful to kind of see how easy that process was. I asked Claude to kind of build it out using Telegram. You could use pretty much anything, Slack, Discord, whatever. I'm sure that Claude could figure that out for you, or whatever AI assistant you want to use. Next up, we have the final episode in our Rebuilding OpenClaw series, and that's going to be making it proactive. So we're going to give it heartbeat, which means it's going to check in proactively every perhaps 30 minutes. And then we're going to also give it cron. So it has the ability to schedule things on its own. So if I say, hey, remind me in 10 minutes to walk the dog, then it will do that. So I'm really excited about that. I think that adds another level of just functionality, great functionality to our bot. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, yeah, please give it a like, and check out the next video when it's ready here. Thanks.